Hey, everybody. We're back with the soon-to-be chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, Senator Bernie Sanders. It has been a long 4 years, and America has changed in a lot of ways. What, in your opinion, has been the greatest change you've seen wrought on this great country over the last 4 years, and what has stayed the same despite the attacks?
Well, I think what has upset me the most is not just Donald Trump. Trump is a pathological liar and a demagogue, and I got that. But what upsets me the most is that some 73 million Americans supported him, and that he did better in many depressed areas of the country than he did in 2016. Now, how did that happen? Why do people continue to support somebody who is a liar, who gives their benefits, makes policy to benefit the rich and the powerful at the expense of working people? How does that happen? How do we restore faith in government so that people understand that the United States government is going to be working for them? How do we bring a nation together, which Trump has done his best to divide us with his racism and his xenophobia? So we have an enormous task in front of us in that regard. I think, if you're asking me what's positive about all of this, at the end of the day, you have had governmental officials, secretaries of state in Georgia, Arizona, other Republican states who, against an onslaught of viciousness and threats from Trump's base, have defended the Constitution, and that's no small thing. But getting back to your point about reinvigorating democracy and voting rights, at the very highest level of priorities has got to be the effort to figure out how we can create a vibrant democracy where if you disagree with me, that's fine. You're not my enemy. Where we have free and fair elections, where big money does not buy elections, where we end the kind of racism and xenophobia that we're seeing right now.
When there was some speculation that you would be Secretary of Labor, but when Biden nominated instead Marty Walsh, he did say this about you. He couldn't think of a more passionate and devoted ally to working people in this country than you. Does it ever surprise you that the people who supported the president, those 74 million people, many of whom are working class white people in the United States, that you can't find common cause with them? Because many of the policies that you put forth would be beneficial for every working class person in the United States. Many of them for all people, but certainly speaking up for the people who do not have the power of the corporate money behind them is something that you're known for. What's your message to them?
My message is let us work together on health care. Let's work together to make sure all of our kids, regardless of income, can get a higher education. Let us not allow the demagogues out there to try to divide us up. Whether you're black, you're white, whether you're Latino, you want your kids to have a decent education. You want to drink water that is clean. You understand you need health care, that you can't make it on starvation wages. And what our job has got to be is to bring people together around an agenda that is in fact supported by the vast majority of the American people, and vigorously oppose those people who want to divide us up by the color of our skin or our religion or where we were born.
In 2016, Paul Ryan said Republicans should be scared of Democrats controlling the Senate because Bernie Sanders would be the budget chair. Before we go, what's the one thing that you could say that would scare Paul Ryan the most?
Well, I would say to Paul Ryan is that we are going to start an effort to tax the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations who today are not paying by any stretch of the imagination their fair share of taxes.
Senator Bernie Sanders, everybody. We'll be right back with a performance by Phineas. Senator, thank you for being here.